Hey guys, Mr. Decker here. This is Unit 2, the unit on web and development, and this is the Lesson 16A Sources and Research assignment. Our standards for this assignment are comparing trade-offs associated with computing technologies that affect people's everyday activities and career options, discussing issues of bias and accessibility in the design of existing technologies, and describing trade-offs between allowing information to be public and keeping information private and secure. Our essential question for this lesson is, how do we find relevant and trustworthy information on the internet? The directions state, using the provided Google Doc, type your answers in the boxes on the activity guide. Your job is to complete the activity guide on links and research by coming up with a topic, 3 questions you want to research on that topic, and complete the table about where you found your information. When you're finished, make sure you submit your completed activity guide on this assignment page for a grade. Okay, first, let's watch this video on how the internet search engines work.
Hi, my name is John. I lead the search and machine learning teams at Google. Well, I think it's amazingly inspiring that people all over the world turn to search engines to ask trivial questions and incredibly important questions. So it's a huge responsibility to give them the best answers that we can.
Hi, my name is Akshaya, and I work on the Bing search team. There are many times where we'll start looking into artificial intelligence and machine learning, but we have to address how are the users going to use this? Because end of the day, we want to make an impact to society. Let's ask a simple question. How long does it take to travel to Mars? Where did these results come from? And why was this listed before the other one?
Okay, let's dive in and see how the search engine turned your request into a result. The first thing you need to know is that when you do a search, the search engine isn't actually going out to the World Wide Web to run your search in real time. And that's because there's over 1 billion websites on the internet and hundreds more being created every single minute. So if the search engine had to look through every single site to find the one you wanted, it would just take forever. So to make your search faster, search engines are constantly scanning the web in advance to record the information that might help with your search later. That way, when you search about travel to Mars, the search engine already has what it needs to give you an answer in real time.
Here's how it works. The internet is a web of pages connected to each other by hyperlinks. Search engines are constantly running a program called a spider that crawls through these web pages to collect information about them. Each time it finds a hyperlink, it follows it until it has visited every page it can find on the entire internet. For each page the spider visits, it records any information it might need for a search by adding it to a special database called a search index.
Now, let's go back to that search from earlier and see if we can figure out how the search engine came up with the results. When you ask, how long does it take to travel to Mars, the search engine looks at each of those words in the search index to immediately get a list of all the pages on the internet containing those words. But just looking for these search terms could return millions of pages. So the search engine needs to be able to determine the best matches to show you first. This is where it gets tricky because the search engine may need to guess what you're looking for.
Each search engine uses its own algorithm to rank the pages based on what it thinks you want. The search engine's ranking algorithm might check if your search term shows up in the page title. It might check if all of the words show up next to each other, or any number of other calculations that help it better determine which pages you'll want to see and which you won't.
Google invented the most famous algorithm for choosing the most relevant results for a search by taking into account how many other web pages link to a given page. The idea is that if lots of websites think that a web page is interesting, then it's probably the one you're looking for. This algorithm is called Pagerank, not because it ranks web pages, but because it was named after its inventor, Larry Page, who's one of the founders of Google.
Because a website often makes money when you visit it, spammers are constantly trying to find ways to game the search algorithm so that their pages are listed higher in the results. Search engines regularly update their algorithms to prevent fake or untrustworthy sites from reaching the top. Ultimately, it's up to you to keep an eye out for these pages that are untrustworthy by looking at the web address and making sure it's a reliable source.
Search programs are always evolving to improve the algorithms so they return better results, faster results than their competitors. Today's search engines even use information that you haven't explicitly provided to help you narrow down your search. So for example, if you did a search for dog parks, many search engines would give you results for all the dog parks nearby, even though you didn't type in your location.
Modern search engines also understand more than just the words on a page, but what they actually mean in order to find the best one that matches what you're looking for. For example, if you search for fast picture, it will know you're looking for an athlete. But if you search for large picture, it will find you options for your kitchen.
To understand the words better, we use something called machine learning, a type of artificial intelligence. It enables search algorithms to search out not just individual letters or words in the page, but understand the underlying meaning of the words.
The internet is growing exponentially, but if the teams that design search engines do our jobs right, the information you want should always be just a few keystrokes away.
All right. Excellent video from code.org on search engines and how the internet works. All right. Let's jump over to our, first, make sure you scroll down to the bottom of the page where you can click on the activity guide to open that up. It looks like this on links and research. All right, so let me go over this real quick with you so you have a good idea of how to complete this assignment. So first, under sources and links, you'll want to list a topic you're interested in learning more about. So maybe that's recycling, maybe that's video games, maybe that's training dogs, maybe it's raising horses. It could be literally anything as long as it's middle school appropriate, right? All right, and then I want you to brainstorm 3 questions that you would like to research on the web about the topic you chose. So what are some things you want to learn more about that particular topic you chose up here? So list those questions there. And then in this section, you're going to use your search skills to find 4 websites to use for information on your topic. In the left column, you will list the URL or domain name of the website and a brief description of the website. On the right side of the table, you're going to highlight or bold low, medium, or high, these answer choices here. So to highlight it, right, if I thought that the website that I chose was of medium trustworthiness, I can bold that, Control Z, or I can highlight it, I can highlight it, and I can highlight it with a color. So up to you how you do that. And then finally, once you've determined how trustworthy the website is, I want you to explain why you gave the website the trustworthiness rating you chose. So if you gave it a low rating, why isn't that website very trustworthy at all? Why do you think it is not trustworthy? Excuse me. If you think it's just medium, tell me why you think it's somewhat trustworthy or mostly trustworthy. And if it's a high rating that you gave it, tell me why you think it is very trustworthy. Why, the thinky thought part of it. Over here for the URL, you'd be putting in with the, www.code.org, right? Or even, if you really want to go ham on it, http://www.code.org, right? And then a description of what that website is about. So, for example, code.org helps teach how to program using various programming languages, right? Let me take that out because this is the original copy. All right. And you'll do that 4 times. So you'll do 4 websites for that. Once you have that completed, yours will look something like this, right? Here's an example of what that should look like. So my topic was recycling. My questions: how much do people recycle now? How does recycling help the planet? What can and can't be recycled? And then down here, I've got my URL, a description of what that site is. I've selected my trustworthiness and said why it's trustworthy. Well, EPA.gov is trustworthy because it's the official site from the government and it's organized with lots of facts. And then we've got Wikipedia here. It's medium trustworthy, and it's only medium trustworthy because anyone can edit it. And there's also a warning that the article has some problems at the top, but there are links to explain where the information came from. And then finally, greeningforward.org. I gave a low rating because there are no citations to tell where the information came from, and I don't know who the people who wrote the article are or if they can be trusted, and the page looks disorganized. So, and finally, another medium with The Guardian. I said, this is a good news site, but the article is old, so maybe it's not true anymore. Also, it's from a different country, so maybe the information is not the same in the United States. So there you go. This is just an example of how you can do yours. And that's how I did mine. So now you have it modeled for you, and you've got a good idea of how to complete this assignment on sources and research. I hope you have fun completing this assignment. See you guys.